Now, Colonel, last afternoon when we adjourned, I asked you a question and we went on some explanation, but I think the answer was lost in translation. I asked you whether in your office, have you given your findings to, or your examination and comparison to a peer reviewer who differed with your opinion? Has that happened?
My Lord, as I've answered yesterday, I said I gave it to 4 of my colleagues and all of them agreed to my findings.
Yeah, Colonel, but what I'm asking you, I'm not speaking specifically about this case. I'm saying in your experience, the 29 years or so as a ballistic expert, and now as a senior specialist in that office, have you given your work in another case, not this case in particular, where you, for example, your finding was one of inclusion, that is a match, and then you gave to somebody who peer reviewed and said it's an elimination or it's inconclusive. Has that happened?
My Lord, as I can recall, there's no case that I did where we differed. In some instances where there's differences, where maybe I made it positive and somebody said, but I'll make it inconclusive. But not where I made it positive and somebody made it negative. It has never happened with me.
And in simple terms, as we established yesterday, inconclusive means doubtful. Either it is or it is not. So you cannot positively say it is the firearm that fired this bullet, or you cannot positively say it's the firearm that did not fire this bullet. Is that correct?
My Lord, in the sense that when you say inconclusive, it might be that you are saying all the class characteristics are there, but yes, I cannot see the individual, or I cannot see sufficient individuals. Yes. Unlike when you say it's inconclusive and I don't see any, well, you say I don't see any, meaning it can be negative.
No, I'm not speaking about in that term. So remember, I went through with you through 2 examples yesterday where I say, let's say, for example, in our expert's conclusion, he says this, he sees discernible matching class characteristics. He doesn't say he doesn't see any. And he says further, I also see individual characteristics, but they are not of the threshold that is required for me to conclude that there is sufficient agreement. Therefore, I'm going to come to a conclusion that is inconclusive.
As long as you say, my Lord, there is sufficient, there is agreement.
Yes.
When you say there is agreement,
yes,
you can see the similarities.
Yes.
If they're not sufficient for you, they are not sufficient for you.
Yes.
But now, for me, if I'm saying I see this, the individual characteristics, which indicates to me that this is positive, I'll make it positive.
engibona sengathi zilingene ukuthi zingangitshela ukuthi yebo lokho kubekiwe lana nanoma kubonakala kodwa ke akucaci kuvele kahle.
Hence, I said, when you were talking about your training, your experience, and your background, I made this proviso or the rider that determination of a conclusion, whether an inclusion, elimination, inconclusive, or insufficient for determination, it's made based on your training, experience, and background. But further, the important rider is that test, that determination is subjective. So it's subjective to you that this is positive, it's got 6, now you've added 1, it's got 7 matching striae. He says it's inconclusive because I see the class characteristics that match to the T, but the striae do not match for me enough to make a determination that is a match. So the test is subjective. That's the basis of my question.
Ama-test la asetshenziswayo wenza ngale ndlela le oqeqeshwe ngayo, kodwa-ke ekugcineni i-test eyenziwayo igcina kuwukuthi-ke incike kakhulu ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani, ngoba kusho ukuthi omunye angabona ngenye indlela, kodwa-ke incike ekutheni umuntu ubona kanjani.
Sorry.
Yes.
You say that the test is subjective.
Yes.
Meaning even the result is subjective.
The results are subjective as well.
You know, if you look at my eyes,
Yes.
I was reading 5 books
Yes.
on ballistics.
Yes.
I can just tell you,
Yeah.
they say the test is scientific.
My Lord,
No, fine, we don't argue. I'm just saying the books on which I was piercing on, they say it is scientific. But if you say it's subjective, and then you exclude scientific, fine. But I'm just saying that's what they say.
my Lord, they said the test is based on 2 labs. One is the scientific part,
But
but
see, at least you are including
yes,
scientific
and
now.
scientific and also
Okay.
Subjective.
Yeah,
and
fine.
I refer the court to
No, fine, we are agreed. If you say
yes,
it's scientific and subjective,
yes.
I don't have a problem.
Okay, thank you,
But
my
you
lord.
said subjective.
Okay, all
Meaning
right.
this clot, Mokhotleng.
Okay,
If he says it's right, it is right.
okay,
Okay.
yes.